Hey guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing what YouTube did not make me buy. And this is kind of the opposite of what YouTube did make me buy. So all of these products that I'm going to share with you today are products that I bought without any influence from YouTube. Some of these products, you may think like, oh, there's no way you didn't hear about this or blah, 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 blah. But all of these products are when I looked at them and I had no opinions from any YouTube video I ever seen. It was just, that looks cool, I want to get it. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and let's get into it. So I'm going to try and go fairly fast through the products because surprisingly I do have a lot, so I don't want to spend too much time on each product. The first thing I'm going to share with you is the primers. I have three. One is the e.l.f. primer. This is just from their Beautifully Bare line. The next is this Wet n Wild Photo Focus primer, and this primer is actually now, it's like this original one is discontinued, but I believe they've replaced it with two different ones. One is a matte one and one is a dewy one. This one is a bit more, it's kind of hydrating. It's not overly hydrating, but it's just a nice smooth, kind of feels like a moisturizer. So I don't know which one this is more similar to. Probably, I guess, the dewy one, but I have not tried either or of those. So I'm not exactly sure, but this actual one I don't believe you can get anymore unless they've just renamed it to the dewy one. And the last primer is this Flower Beauty Hydrating Primer. Once again, I have dry skin, so any hydrating primer I am willing to try. I only have one foundation. It is the Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte Foundation. And you cannot get this anymore actually because Sonia Kashuk no longer sells makeup. They now only sell brushes. And this is kind of like an okay foundation for me. I have dry skin, so it does tend to, if I don't hydrate very well or put on a nice hydrating primer, it does cling to my dry patches. But if you have oily skin, I do think you'll absolutely love this. I prefer to use this more in the winter, as long as I use a really nice hydrating primer underneath it. And I only have one concealer, and it is this Revlon Photo Ready Color Correcting Pen. When I got this, I was just on the hunt for a color correcting pen. I don't really like the color correctors that are in the pot form. So I wanted some kind of drugstore color correcting pen, and when I went to CVS, this was on a new display, so I picked it up. And I do really like this one. I don't use it all the time, but just when I've kind of had a lack of sleep, my eyes are a bit darker, and I want a little bit more help covering up those bags, I will reach for this. I'm going to go on to bronzers next, and I have four to share with you. The first is this Essence Matte Bronzing Powder, and I got this when Ulta was having their buy two get one free, or buy three get two free, whatever it is, and Essence was one of those brands that was going on at the time, so I picked this up, and I do actually really love this bronzer. It's definitely a really nice smooth powder, and I find that it goes on the skin and blends beautifully, and definitely not too dark. This is for the light skin, I believe. And yeah, this is in the shade Au Natural, and it says on the front lighter skin. I don't know, I only saw two shades, so I don't know how deep the other one is, but I do absolutely love this. The next one was my first bronzer ever, and is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Powder. I have mine in the shade 720A Sunny, and as you can see, I've definitely made a dent in this. Unfortunately, you cannot get this anymore, but I did absolutely love this. It was my first bronzer, and I will forever cherish it. The next bronzer I have is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. Mine's in the shade Perpetually Tan, and this is definitely a really smooth and blends beautifully on the skin bronzer. I had seen this when I was just making an order on the e.l.f. website, and it was on their brand new page, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try, and I definitely really like it. The last bronzer I have is by the brand Found, and it's their Baked Bronzer. This bronzer has some luminous to it, but it's not glittery in any way, and I really like it. Found Beauty is a brand that I've seen at Walmart. That's a swatch of it. You can kind of see it gives a nice glow, but it's not shimmery, so I really do like it. But I found this brand at Walmart, and I've still have never heard anybody talk about this brand, and I definitely think like people should. So if you can find it at your Walmart, I definitely recommend checking this out. Next, I'm going to go on to blushes, and I definitely have a lot because I love to try out new blushes. If I see something and it's in a color I like, I will pick it up. We'll start with, speaking of Found Beauty, this was actually the first product I picked up by them because I was just curious and I saw this blush and it looked really pretty. It's similar to the bronzer in the sense that it's really nice and glowy, but it doesn't have any shimmer in it. It's nice peachy pink, and this was actually the first product I picked up by them, and I love this so much that I ended up picking up the bronzer. So I haven't tried anything else by them, or that's a lie, I've tried one other thing that's actually a blush as well. But other than that, I haven't tried much else by them, but I definitely want to, and I recommend you guys do. And then also by Found Beauty, I have the Nourishing Cream Blush Tint. At the time, I was just wanting to try some cream blushes, so I picked this up because I've been loving the bronzer and blush I got by them. And then speaking of cream blushes, at the same time, I was on the hunt for a cream blush, and this was on clearance at Target. It's by Pixie, and it's their, what is this called? Sheer Cheek Gel. Is that what it is, right? Yeah, Sheer Cheek Gel. I think this is in the shade Rosy. That's what it says on here. I'm not exactly sure. But I don't really like this all that much. I definitely think I prefer that Balm by Found Beauty better. But this definitely is sheer when you spread it out, and you can like literally see my skin from underneath it. So I don't know how much I like this, but it was just something I picked up when I was wanting to try. The next blush I have to talk about is this e.l.f. Primer Infused blush, and I have mine in the shade Perpetually Tan. I got this at the same time as the bronzer, had just intrigued me online, so I decided to get it. And it applies just as well as the bronzer. They're both, I would definitely recommend those. If you're on a budget, I definitely recommend picking those up. They're one of the best bronzer and blushes I've ever picked up from the drugstore. The next two blushes I have, I got at the same time just when I was at the drugstore wanting some new blushes. And first is the number 7 blush in the shade Peach Velvet. And the other one is the Sonia Kashuk blush in the shade Flushed. I don't really have anything like this in my collection, so that's what intrigued me to get this one. And this one I was just curious about trying. And they're good formulas, not the best, but not the worst. So that's when I got those. And this next blush is, I don't believe it was my first blush, but it was definitely one of the first few blushes I ever bought. And it's this Milani powder blush in the shade Coral Cove. And I don't know what compelled me to get this bright of a shade, but I was just really into those warm peachy pink blushes, so I picked this one. And I do still really like it. I do use it from time to time, but you do have to be careful. And if you just go in with a light hand, it gives you a nice wash of color on the cheeks, but you definitely can't go in too heavy-handed with this. Next, I have two highlights, and one is this Tarte highlight in the shade Exposed. And this was maybe my first highlight ever. If not, it was definitely, like I said, with the Milani blush, one of the first. And I remember I was just in Sephora and I don't know what, I just wanted a highlight, but I didn't want anything too shimmery, nothing glittery, and nothing too out there. And that's what everyone on the internet was talking about with those crazy out-of-the-world highlights, but I didn't want that. So I saw this and I liked the way it swatched. It was just a nice, beautiful sheen that melted into the skin. I love the color. So that's it. So I got it. And then this is actually my second one because I made quite a dent in the first one, and then I ended up dropping it, and I repressed it and still continued to use it, and I still continued to use up a lot of the product afterwards. And then I finally ended up buying another one. So this is actually my second one. It was definitely a holy grail for a while. The next highlight I have might be a bit of a shock because this definitely got a lot of hype on YouTube, but I promise I purchased it before all of that hype. And it's the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in the shade Kitten. Of course, what intrigued me, just like anybody else, was that putty-like texture. When I was just in Sephora looking around, and they had a little highlight display of a bunch of different highlights they carried in store. And I had seen this one, and of course, like I said, the puttiness kind of drew me in. So I was already wearing highlight, but I took a little bit of this and just kind of dabbed it on my skin. And I ended up leaving Sephora, went about the rest of my day, but anytime I looked in a mirror, that highlight just kept catching my eye, and it just gave that nice like dewy effect, dewy like glossy. That's a swatch of it right there. And it just gave this like nice dewy glossy effect to my highlight. And I ended up loving it so much, I either went back that day or the next day and bought it. And then of course, a couple days later, everyone on YouTube was talking about this highlight, and I was just kind of like, I already got it. But I was super happy with this purchase. Next, I'm going to talk about brow products. And the first thing I have is this Milani Stay Put Brow Color. I have mine in the shade 03 Medium Brown. And I actually got this fairly recently, but as you can tell, I've already made quite a dent in it. And I had just gotten this when I had been using Anastasia Dip Brow, but I wanted a cheaper alternative. So, excuse me, I went to the store and I saw this and decided to pick it up. I'm usually never disappointed with Milani products, so I felt safe to try this, and I do really like it. And then I have two pencils. One is this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and I definitely prefer pomades over pencils. So both of these next I'm going to show you I got just because I want to get into that pencil trend that everyone likes, because I do really like those brush strokes, but I find that I don't have the patience for it. So I got this, I got this to try, and it's okay. I don't like how tiny it is. This definitely is ultra precise. So, and I don't have super thin brows, so I just found with this, it took way too long to fill in my brows. So then after I tried this, I was wanting one of those thicker brow pencils, and that's what led me to try this Wet n Wild one. This is the retractable brow pencil, and it definitely has that like triangle shape. So I have actually been using this. This is what it's in my brows today, and I kind of do like it. It's nice and creamy. I don't think it's super long lasting, but it's nice and creamy, and it doesn't take me forever to fill in my brows like it would with that other pencil. And then I wasn't paying attention too much to what this was when I bought it, but it's this Flower Beauty Brow Tattoo Effect Stain. And when I got it, I just saw brow, and I thought it was going to be like that Wet n Wild one of those more thick triangle ones, because I saw the tip, but I guess I didn't look too closely at it, and it's actually more like a marker. So I don't really like this all that much. Like, it's literally like a Sharpie. So kind of was disappointed in that, but hey, that's what you get when you try some products that you've never heard of. And next is this Essence Lash and Brow Gel Mascara. I really like clear brow gels like this, so I got this when I was just out of Ulta, and they had that buy two get one free sale that they always do with a couple different brands, and Essence was one of those brands at the time, so I got this to try that, and it's okay. There are others I like more. I don't think anything will ever top my ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. But I like this. It's nice. And then for eyeliners, I have a couple. These first two are by Milani, and I just saw them and like the color. And then I have these two eyeliners by Physicians Formula. They are the Eye Booster. I wanted to try... I didn't like eyeliner for a long time just because I didn't like how it looked on me. So I saw this one in the shade Deep Brown, and it's a brush tip, and brush tip is like the only type of eyeliner I hadn't tried. I tried felt tip, I tried gel, I tried liquid, and none of them I liked. But this one I actually really did like, so I've actually discovered about myself that I like brush tip eyeliners. So I really like this one and how it looked. It didn't look too harsh. I just found with black eyeliners, it just blacked out my eyes. I have brown eyes, so I heard that brown eyeliners really enhance that. So that's why I got this to try, and I ended up liking it so much that I got the black one. And then going with that brown eyeliner, I saw this Essence Gel Eye Pencil in Waterproof, and it's in the shade Cocoa Bean. And this is one of my favorite eyeliners ever, especially on my lower lash line. It, gives them a little bit of depth, but it's not too dark. So, and it really enhances my eye color. So I absolutely love that. And it's definitely waterproof. It glides on so, like if you look at glides on, so creamy, but it doesn't go anywhere. It definitely stays put. And then I also have this Essence Super Fine eyeliner pen. And unfortunately this is a felt tip, but I do still like it. It's nice and it has a really nice point. And it is super black, but like I said, I don't reach for a ton just because it's felt tip. But when I want to get a nice wing, I do really like it. And then now on to eyeshadow. I have like two glitter things first. First, I have this glitter eyeliner by e.l.f. and it's in the shade Seafoam. This is another one of those things I'd seen on the website, thought looked cool, and I like. It's definitely not an opaque enough for an eyeliner, but I think it's nice just for over top of an eyeshadow. But this is the, forgot what this is called. This, I believe it's called like the Pop of Glitter by e.l.f. and it's, I guess it's supposed to be, you can use it anywhere, like on your eyes. It didn't specify. I guess you can use it like on your eyes, your cheek. I think it even had it in the lips category. I just use it as eyeshadow, but I do really like it. And this is in the shade Golden Glitz. Ooh. This is like a horrible swatch, but you can see it's just a nice, like kind of golden glittery shade. I really like it just on the top of my lids to give myself a little nice glitter. I do like it's definitely not a dupe for the Stila Magnificent Metals, but I do like this. And I have one eye primer. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this is the original one. I got this because I got a little 100 Point Perk sample of it. Once again, when I was kind of first starting out, I believe it was my first 100 Point Perk ever. So I got this to try, and I really liked it, I guess. I don't know. I have other eyeshadow primers I like better now, but at the time I really liked this, and it made me buy a full size. So clever marketing. Sephora giving you a little sample, making you buy a full size. And then I have a couple. Most of these are from e.l.f., but these three like cream eyeshadows, I believe these are called the Smudge Pots, and I have it in the shade Brownie Points, Cruisin' Chic, and Why Not. I had one other color, but I ended up getting rid of that because it got like old and gunky. These ones are still fairly good, but I was using these like on their own for a really long time. So these are really nice, just like kind of all over the lid, maybe a little like bronzer in the crease. Really simple eye look. So I like those for a really long time. I don't use them as much anymore, but they were really good for a long time. And then I also have this, I forgot what this is called, but it's like, those were called the Smudge Pops, and this is called something else, but it's like another cream eyeshadow. And this is in the shade Toast. It's this nice kind of like golden bronze, and it has almost like a putty like texture. Not quite like ColourPop, but it's really nice. That's a swatch. And then I also have this like kind of a loose glitter from e.l.f. and this is in the shade Lunar Lilac. Both these were on their like brand new page once again when I was making an order, so I picked both those up. And I only have one mascara, and it's this Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara. And I got this because I had bought at Sephora, they had these like boxes that are filled with like mini mascaras, like a couple different ones that you can try, and it's like $28 usually, but it always comes with a like coupon, vouchers, whatever, and you can go back and get a full size of whichever one you liked most for free. And I really like this one for some reason. I mean, it gave me like really nice volume and kind of separated, so I went back and got this one. So I do really, and that's what's made me continue using it. It's not like my holy grail, but I do really like it, so when I can get it for free, I get it. And I'm just going to say this real quick because I only have one, and I don't know where else to put this, but I have one setting spray, and it's this e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. And I like the product, but the mist is like, it's a little aggressive. It's not the best. But, so like, one of the most pleasant things about this is it smells like coconut. And it doesn't say it anywhere on the bottle. It didn't say it on the website, but when it came in the box, it said coconut on it. But like I said, it doesn't say it on the bottle itself or on the website, which I found really rude, but it definitely smells like coconut, and I absolutely love it for that. And the product, it is super nice and dewy on the face, but like I said, the nozzle just isn't the best. So I'm almost done with one of my other setting sprays, so I think I'm just going to take the product out of this one and put it into that bottle, because I like the mist on that bottle better, but I do really like this product. The next thing I'm going to talk about is lips, and I do have quite a bit for this category, but I'm going to try to go through it fairly quickly. So first thing I have is lip liners, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, I guess it's probably a good thing, most of my lip liners I've bought with no influence, just because on YouTube I tend to really only hear about high-end lip liners, and I don't like buying high-end lip liners. So we'll start with like the first, sorry, not eyeliner, lip liners. We'll start with the first lip liner I ever got, and it's these, what are they called? They're by Rimmel, the Exaggerate full color lip liners, and these are the shades I have. I'm not going to go through all the shades I have. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. These I got just because my best friend had them, and when I was starting out makeup, they were the only lip liners I knew existed, so that's why I got these ones. And then I have a few Milani. Yeah, I have 2 Milani, it looks like. And then I have L'Oreal. It looks like, yeah, I have 2 L'Oreal, 2 Flower Beauty, and then 1 Milani, NYX, and Jordana. So the Milani, I don't really like. The Jordana one's okay. I really like the NYX one. But definitely like the Rimmel, Milani, and L'Oreal are my favorite lip liners. And then I only have 3 lipsticks. 2 are by Makeup Revolution, and these obviously look like a familiar, popular, high-end makeup brand lipstick. So I'd seen these and I thought they would be similar to that brand, which I will not say. And so I got these 2. This is in the shade, this one is their matte formula. It's in the shade Chauffeur. And this, I guess, was from another line, I don't know. And it's in the shade Wishful. And then the other lipstick I have is from the Sephora collection. I believe this is called their Rouge lipstick. And this is in the shade Mmm. That's all it says. But it's a nice, like, pinky shade. I think I had found it in the sales section and just decided to pick it up. And for lip glosses, I have a couple. I have 3 from Revlon and then 1 from Wet n Wild. And I actually had another one from Wet n Wild, but that one, the packaging, it is Wet n Wild. It is cheaper packaging, and it kind of failed on me. I will not go into detail, but this one is in the shade, what is this in the shade? 554B Bronze Berry. And pretty much all of these I just gotten close around the same time. I was just in the mood to expand on my lip gloss collection. So I went to the drugstore and these were the ones I found. And this is nice. It is shimmery, which I don't always like, but it's a nice like shimmery kind of nude berry color. So I like that. It's a little bit sticky, but it's okay. This lip gloss I wore with like one of my lipsticks I had for so long, and these are both by Revlon, I think. Yeah, these are all by Revlon, but this is like in a different line, I guess. I don't know what line this is in. But this is in the shade 585 HD Sandstorm. And it's a really nice, like, peachy gloss. And you can't tell at first glance, but it has some, like, kind of sparkle in it. And it looks really pretty on the lips. So I was wearing this for quite a while. And then I also have these 2, which is, I guess, in their normal line. And these are in the shade 207 and 215. So that's why I got those. And then the only liquid lipstick formula I have a couple different shades, but the only liquid lipstick I have is the Kat Von D one, which might be another thing that's kind of hard to believe. But I remember going to Sephora for one of the first times, I believe, and my best friend was going to get these, so I decided I was going to get some too. And I got 2 shades at the time. The first shade I got was Lovesick, which I wore this. Like, this was one of my only lipsticks I had, and I just wore this all the time, and I love it. It's a really nice, like, pink shade. And then I also got the shade Double Dare at that time. And then I really like this formula, so I ended up going back and getting, this is Lolita. And I guess this one is kind of cheating because I got this shade in particular off a recommendation, but it's in the shade Project Chimps, which the proceeds for this shade ended up going to a chimp organization. So, but it's a really nice red. I do really like the red. And that's all for lips. And the last thing I have is palettes. I have 2 blush palettes, both by Tarte, and these came out during their holiday season. And this was the first one I got. I had my eye on Tarte blushes, but at the time I couldn't spend almost $30 on one single blush. And so when this came out, it has like, I think 8 blushes and 2 highlights. So when this came out, I had to get my hands on it just because these blushes are so pigmented, and so you're never gonna hit pan on these. And even though they're smaller, I just feel like I'm never gonna hit pan on these. And then this past year, I got this one too, just because this one looked like some more like pinkier shades, so I got this one too. Just because I really love the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush formula. And then, also, wow, I have a lot of Tarte stuff in here. Also on the line of Tarte, I got this Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palette, and it's all shimmers, but I got this because I wanted a all shimmer companion palette for my all matte palettes, because I have all matte palettes, but I don't like getting all shimmer palettes just because I do tend to use more mattes, but I wanted one all shimmer palette just so I can have a companion palette to those all matte palettes. So that's why I picked this up. It's just some nice like neutral shimmer shades. Then I also have this Tarteist Pro Glow To Go. I had seen the big version of the Pro Glow, but I knew myself and I knew I was not going to use all of those shades. It also had some cream products in, which at the time I didn't really like cream face products. So I saw this, so I was like, this is perfect. I know I will use every single shade, so that's why I got this one. And I'm trying to wrap this up quick because I know this video is probably long by now, but this Too Faced, this is called the Peanut Butter and Honey palette, kind of along the lines of their peanut butter and jelly palette. I don't know if you can even still get this anymore, but I had seen this like out, I saw a picture of this on the internet, and I got this surely because it was when I was first getting into like those more warmer tone eyeshadow shades, and I saw this yellow. I don't know, I just felt that's like what sold me, maybe get it. I don't reach for it. This yellow is not the best. I've definitely tried better yellows, but something compelled me to get this. And then I also have this Milani eyeshadow palette, and this is the Plum Basics one. I was just in the store and I had seen this, and like I said, I really like Milani products, so I decided to pick this up. I want to pick up more of these, just because they definitely have more color combinations I like better than this. But definitely when I want some like purple eyeshadows, I definitely like reach into this a little bit. And this next palette I have, I believe it was actually my first palette ever, and it's the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. So the reason why I got this was because my best friend had the Naked 2 palette, and I remember I really wanted that palette, but I couldn't. My best friend was convinced that I like copied everything she ever did or ever wanted or ever had. So I was like, no, I can't get that. I mean, keep in mind, I was like 16. And so I was like, no, I can't get that palette because she's going to think I got it only because she has it because I want to copy her. So I remember going to Sephora and looking at all the Naked palettes, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I got this one. I feel like I would have been better off with even the Naked 3 or definitely the Naked 1. But I got this one, and I used it for a little bit, but I find it so hard to come up with looks with this just because there's only 4 matte shades, these 4 right here. And for me, I just need a lot of matte shades to complete a look rather than shimmer shades. So I feel like if this had if a lot more of these were in matte rather than shimmer, I definitely would get more use out of this because I don't have really much like this in my collection, which is why I do keep it. Also with the fact that it was my first palette ever. But I definitely don't reach for it a ton just because, like I said, that fact that it doesn't have too many of those matte shades that I really like. And then the last palette, which is a newer one, and also, like I said, might be a bit hard to believe, but it's the Soft Glam palette. And the reason why I got, let me tell you, so the reason why I'm saying that I got this without any influence from anybody YouTube whatsoever is because when I just saw the picture of this, I immediately knew, I was like, yes, I will love this palette. I will use every single shade in here. And I do absolutely love this palette. It's what's on my eyes right now, other than the glitter. But I love this palette. And as soon as it came out, I bought it before I even saw any reviews on it. And I just, like I said, I knew I was going to love it. And I really like it. So that was why I got that palette. And that is everything I got without any influence from YouTube whatsoever. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.